There is an African proverb that says one hand does not wash itself. It reminds us that survival has always been a shared effort.
That shared responsibility is at the heart of our conversation today. Financial support for extended families, also known as black tax.
And you know, Patience, when one person finds their feet, you know, they help steady others, sometimes by choice, often by custom.
Well, that brings us to the big question. Is black tax a moral duty, a cultural strength that binds families together, or is it a weight that keeps getting heavier in light of our current economic realities? I am Patience Eloy Abba, and this is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, coming to you live from the network service of the NTA.
And now we are taking a closer look at that point where family obligation meets personal choice. My name is Suleiman Babajia Usman. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on the show.
Beautiful cultural sound there from Amase Josephine Mbahemen. That was beautiful. That just took Sule and I right back to the roots. And we're saying that looking at her, it's like a collage of so many cultures put together.
And trust me, you can have a feel of Zulu, you know, cultural attire there. You can have a bit of Gbagi, Tiv, as you mentioned earlier. And trust me, there's Nupe also somewhere.
I know if there's no Nupe there, Sule will not be sitting here.
It won't be complete, actually.
Indeed, thank you so much, Mbahemen. That was beautiful. If you're just joining us, it is your favorite weekend show, Weekend Deal, and we are live from the network service of the NTA. Today, our focus is on financial support to extended family, popularly known as black tax. Somebody will say, why is it black tax? Let me give you a little background, a little history. And it originated from South Africa, where members of the family who were professionals, who were working, were expected to send money back home to support the home front, to help them run their home expenses. You know how we say it now? We leave home to feed a home, and that was the practice at that time, and it has continued. And sometimes they describe it as Ubuntu. Ubuntu would mean it's a philosophy that says that human beings must live together in a sharing responsibility. We must share and live together, the sharing spirit. So today we're asking a very important question. Black tax, is it a personal choice? Is it obligation? Or what exactly is black tax? Well, our conversation starter will tell us more, and it is by NTA Abuja.
There's an Igbo proverb that says, "It is the firewood a woman gathered in her youth that keeps her warm in old age." The ideology of a circle of care and support is an ingrained one in the Nigerian society. The unspoken assumption that as you achieve and grow, you are duty-bound to stretch and lift others. In today's world, this is referred to as black tax. Black tax refers to the social and cultural expectation that income earners will financially support parents, siblings, and extended family members who are less economically secure. It is not enforced by law, but it is enforced by tradition, morality, and expectation. It appears in the sharing of first salaries, in monthly transfers, school fees, medical bills, and daily sustenance. Why is this practice deeply rooted?
It is deeply rooted in our culture as Africans, especially because you know we Africans, we live in a community. We believe in communality, in togetherness. That Ubuntu, philosophy, that I am because you are, is what is responsible for the black tax. Unlike the Western world, in some Western societies, even though black tax also, happens in their own community, but they are more individualistic. Our value system is different. Our outlook in life now is different. If you live in the city or you are educated, the way you see life is quite different from the person who lives, especially in the rural areas, and is not well educated. So it's a phenomenon that, but whether we like it or not, as the earth remaineth, the poor will always remain with us. So it is a kind of a responsibility for us as individuals to see that out of the little that God has given to us, we also, hand out to people who don't, but it should not be done discriminately and, let me say, wickedly.
For many working Nigerians, success is accompanied by responsibility before reward. Personal goals, saving, housing, marriage, and health are often negotiated alongside family obligations. Support is given not only out of duty, but out of gratitude and love. Yet the pressure is real. For many, refusal is not neutrality, it is perceived as abandonment, ingratitude, or moral failure. For parents and elders, dependence is rarely entitlement. It is often the expectation of continuity, built on years of sacrifice, made without pensions, healthcare, or social security.
I take care of my aged mother. I also take care of my cousins. I also have two young people that currently stay with me that I'm also taking care of. And then I'm also a youth pastor, so I have a couple of people here and there that I also support from time to time. But every month I take care of my mom, my siblings, or my relatives, my cousins, and there are people I'm currently training in school. So black tax is a reality that we all deal with. It's one that happens whether you like it or not. And for me, I think that there just has to be a balance to it, because definitely as a young person growing up in Africa, there's so many sacrifices in terms of your well-being, in terms of your development when you were growing up. And it just only makes sense that when God has begun to help you one way or the other, that you just return the favor and give back to the systems that built you. However, it's also important that you create and strike a balance as to not doing it to your own detriment. But yes, definitely it's a reality we all deal with. Unlike if one was to cater for himself and his immediate family, whenever income comes in, you have to think of these other people. You have to factor them into your consideration in terms of your planning and your spending. So yes, a great deal it does. Even recently, I had a family member that had to undertake a surgery, an emergency surgery, and I had to, see how to support that process. So these are things that come up, and sometimes they change the dynamics of things you had planned to do with your finances. I'm glad and happy to be able to help and be of service to people in my family.
As society evolves, the challenge is not to abandon communal values, but to renegotiate them with balance, dignity, and sustainability. Because in Nigeria, success is rarely personal and responsibility is rarely optional.
Trust me, I always champion the fact that it's always nice to give back to the society, especially if you have taken much from that society. But the idea, the concept of black tax, in fact, years back, when my first encounter with the phrase, I kept wondering, why can't it be brown tax, white tax, different? But at the end of the day, it's because it's actually to do with the South Africans. They were able to come up with the phrase black tax. But the concept and ideology behind it has always been with us in the African society, and that is the support, especially the financial support to one's parents or siblings. Now, let's meet our first guest of the day, and her name is Margaret Amu, aka her royal poshness. Now, you will not understand that until you see her. And I'm sure she's, a combination of a whole lot of things. But let's see her profile. And after that, we get to meet the poshness behind Margaret.
You're welcome to Weekend Deal.
Thank you for having
It's
me.
no wonder you're called royal poshness. I mean, should I speak any further? Do people see those pictures? And do you see her?
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank
I do also know that you are the global ambassador for Unashamed Culture. Before we dive into our conversation, can you tell me a little about Unashamed?
Okay, so Unashamed is something I came up with. Unashamed has to do with empowering the mature single lady to live their best lives while still waiting for the man of their dreams. Okay, so I'm a mature single lady myself, and I've been that for quite some time. So, and I've gone through different experiences, and I just thought to use my own experiences to encourage and help other mature single ladies that you can still live your best life. You can still live your life to the fullest while waiting for your Prince Charming.
Interesting.
Because
I get that.
Yes, so I get a lot of people ask me, despite the fact that you're a mature single lady, you're always looking radiant, you're always looking happy, you're always, just going about life, enjoying yourself. How do you do it? So I thought to just, use that opportunity to just encourage other mature single ladies. So that's what Unashamed is all about.
Amazing. That's noble.
That's quite precise and interesting indeed. And I was making a joke earlier with patients that maybe you soon put all these young ladies out of the market because of how radiant you look. But trust me, now we are looking at, giving back to one's family, especially the financial support and all of that. Of course, we're also going to come down to this element of the mental aspect of it and all of that. But now, when you look at black tax in its totality, it is something that should be sustained because questions are being asked. Whether it's a burden, it's a custom, it's a tradition that must be fulfilled. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I think black tax. I think it depends on. Okay, so when you were talking earlier, I listened to what you said about the responsibility of, say, for instance. Okay, let me put it this way, and the eldest person in the family having to take on the responsibility of the whole family because he's doing well. Because I was looking at what black tax is, and that was one of the things I found out. That black tax, like you said, is common with the black people because we were saying something about why is it not brown, why is it not white. I thought that as well. So it's common with the black people, and it has to do with you helping your family. So if you're the one doing well in your family, then of course all eyes are on you to ensure that all other family members are also okay. So in that sense, there's this unrealistic expectation. So for me, it's about if you are able to do it, if you are in that space where it's comfortable for you to do it, it doesn't have to be a pressure. It doesn't have to be out of guilt, but it's something you are happy to do for the love of the family. So you love your family, you are doing well, and because of that love, you feel you are in the position to help other people, and you help. Okay? So it's not out of burden, it's out of love, it's out of what you have. Like they say, you cannot give what you do not have. So a lot of times people are expecting you to give what you do not have because they feel like you are the eldest in the family. There's this responsibility you have to carry, whether you can carry it or not. So when you see it that way, then it's a burden. But if you're allowed to just express yourself just the way you are, according to what you have, and because of the love you have for your family. For me, I think it's all about loving your family, wanting them to do well just as much as you have done well. So if you are doing it out of that and doing it out of what you have, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, then I think, it's okay.
It's beautiful. It becomes something you're doing out of love. But let me quickly add here that we have it in other cultures. In the Latino culture, it is called brown tax.
Okay.
Yes. So, and we have it, so many other cultures that have several names for it in so many cultures, always giving back to the family front. You said something, you said when we allow it to be flexible, that means doing it the way we want. But sometimes your younger sister or brother's school fees needs to be paid at a particular time. Yes. And because a lot of people are also beneficiaries of black tax. One uncle picked you, one auntie paid your school fees. That's why you are where you are today.
Yes.
So is it possible for people to have a structure to know that I am graduating? My father sold that last land to take me to school to ensure. So I am going to plan my life in such a way that I ensure that my younger ones also graduate. Is it possible to have a structure in place as intentionally planning to pay your tax to the family? Is it possible to have that kind of arrangement?
So who should have that kind of arrangement?
You
now?
who have benefited, who is now working, who is now making money. Because you said something about doing it at when and how you wish.
Yes.
But the truth of life is that some of these demands will meet you unawares.
Yes.
Because school fees needs to be paid at a particular time. Mama's drugs or papa's drugs need to be bought.
Yes.
So is it possible for you who have benefited from that circle, who was helped by an uncle, to put something in place to say, I am not working, my salary is 10 naira, I am going to structure. Is it possible for people to plan their lives like that, even though it might not be?
Okay, so like I said before, you cannot give what you do not have. Yes, you may have been trained by an uncle, an aunt, and all of that. I'm sure by the grace of God, they had it. That was why they were able to train you. So they could have trained you, especially when you're looking at this economic situation we are in. You've now finished school. There is no job. There is no work. So how are you supposed to now help?
So let's just limit our conversation to those who are already working. The ones who are collecting money, not just because I mean, how do you give if you don't have?
Exactly.
So the thing is, let's talk about people who are already working.
Yes. So for me, like you just rightly, like you said, if you have benefited, I think it's just proper for you to also, let other benefit from you as well, But then again, I think it still has to do with. It still has to do with what you can afford to do at a particular time. But at least do something. Okay. Do something. Don't just ignore. Because like you said, yes, some people benefit and they just want to live their life. They don't want to remember whether there are other people who need help like they did. So if you benefited, yes, you should at least strive to also be in that position where you are able to help others. And especially if you are in that position to help others, please do. Yes.
Okay, so when you are in that position and you can help, you should help. But I listened to your conversation and I can't help but to draw one conclusion that it's down to personal choice to either assist or withheld your assistance. Now, patients presented a perfect scenario whereby an individual grows up in a functional environment, a functional society or family, whereby he or she is helped through the process, and now he's made it, now giving back to the side. For that, perhaps it becomes an obligation, not a choice. But for someone who really gets that support from the family, or really have a family, to say, oh, this is my pillar of support. For them, what are your thoughts for people like that in case they decide not to help
and withhold? Who have not had that
support exactly.
So like they've done it themselves.
On their way,
Yes, they've achieved that success themselves. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So then that's where, like I said, it has to now be about the love you have for your family, the interest you have for your family, that you want your family to succeed. You're talking about the Latino and all of that. I know, like in the Asian culture, you know, there's a way they do it. I was talking to somebody not too long ago about this. So they have a family, maybe a family of 4, a father, a mother, and 4 children. So all of them, there's a way they come together. Say, for instance, they want to buy a house. So they come together, work together, put money together, and buy a house for the first one. Come together, buy a house for the second one.
Nice.
Come together, buy a house for the third one.
That's
and
beautiful.
the same thing with setting up businesses. You know, that's what they do.
Oh, that's
and honestly, especially in the UK, they are honestly gaining grounds now in the UK, you know. So for me, if you have done it your own way, honestly, it still has to do with the love you have for your family, that need, that you want to see your family members also do well. You know, you have to see, you want to see your family members do well, so you want to go all out to make sure they also do well. I mean, I have an elder sister who is always particular about how we are all doing. Not necessarily even because she's helping, but even in our own little spaces, she wants to see that you are making the best out of where you are. So if you're in that position where you can help, you know, and you really have that love for them, and you want to really see them, you know, succeed in life, because they are succeeding, we also help you. It means that they are not coming to you to ask for anything. So you have your own space as well. So if you're able to help them just find a way in life so that you can have your space and focus on your family, I think that's a good thing to do.
Absolutely. I can say that from my personal experience. I'm the first daughter. I have 5 brothers. And I remember marrying at a very young age and moving to Abuja, and they all had at one point to stay with me. Today, these guys are doing well. And all I can respond to that is a smile. You know what? When they are doing well, you know what happens now? You just smile and look pretty.
Blessing you as well.
Oh, that's why they smile now. Why do you think I'm saying I smile? That's it. So for some, black tax is an act of love and gratitude. For others, it's a silent pressure that affects their long-term plans, their financial plans, even their marriage plans. So the question is, how do we strike a balance? NTA will tell us.
In Nigeria and many African societies, family ties are strong when it comes to supporting extended family financially. Where do you draw the line? Is it a cultural obligation or a personal choice?
It is not a thing of right for your sibling to take care of you. It's a privilege. It's a privilege because he has the resources and is willing to do it. He's willing to do it because of the attachment, the bond that has existed between you people for a very long period. But some people have this entitlement mentality. You are my brother, you are my sister. It's your responsibility to take care of me.
All right. Thank you very much.
All right.
One of those things the values of our culture teaches us is to extend hands of fellowships through alms giving and support to not just immediate family members, but even extended family members as the need arises and as the case arises.
Culturally, many people feel a strong sense of responsibility to support their family members financially. This includes helping with payment of school fees, medical bills, or daily living allowance. While some people see this as a way to give back and strengthen family bonds, others see it as a burden affecting their own financial stability and goals.
Grows the bonds of unison and it grows the bonds of love. So it becomes imperative. It becomes pardon me to use the word, it becomes morally necessary for us to do that so that we can continue to foster the bonds of love that exist between siblings and extended family members.
You need to assist. If not for any other thing, at least it gives you that level of self-satisfaction to see other people grow. I've benefited immensely from the extended family. It's the reason why I'm saying it. I remember when I went through a lot of challenges when I was doing my first degree. So immediately I finished, my uncle decided to take it off from there. My MSc, my initial payment for my PhD came from my uncle, who was then the one supporting me. So today, if you come to my house, I have 3 children, but if you go to my house now as I speak, I have up to 6 children at home.
In Western cultures, like in America and Europe, the nuclear family is often the primary focus when it comes to financial support. There is a strong emphasis on individualism and financial freedom. In contrast, Nigeria has a strong tradition of extended family support, where the extended family still expect financial support. Hence, the concept of black tax.
The bond that binds us together, that closely knit family bond that binds us together is still very strong in Africa compared to what is happening in the Western world. Gradually, the Western world are also looking forward to wanting to reenact what it used to be in those days.
We do not share the same culture with the Western world. Now, while the Western world see differently to things, we see differently to things in the African hemisphere. And so it is what we believe in. These are part of our strongly held beliefs.
While culture and tradition play a big role in financial support for the extended family in Nigeria, it is also important to balance family needs within your financial goals. Finding that balance is key by redefining support in a way that strengthens both family bonds and cultural norms.
When talking about Africa, our African society is actually built on that communal foundation, and where one is responsible for all and vice versa. But sometimes you begin to, question some of our interactions, especially when it has to do with attaining your financial goal and also the need to, give that financial support to your family. We have another guest who just joined us on the show. She is Anissa Idris. Yes, Anissa Idris, and of course she is the founder of her Space Mind Wellness. She is coming with a wealth of experience, which certainly she will share with us on the show today. Let's take a bit of her profile, and after that we get to meet her.
Welcome to Weekend Deal.
Thank you for having me.
Our guest today have this award-winning smiles. She came with her own, and now you with your own. Wow, wow. So today we're talking about black tax, and we all know that black tax is an informal, powerful social safety net. Putting food on the table, paying school fees, pulling people up. What is your take on that? I need you to speak to that as a safety net, social safety net.
So black tax in itself, the word originates from South Africa, right? And it has resonated globally with black communities. So this shows you how deeply rooted it is in our culture. It sits at the intersection of culture, yes, history, but also I think the most neglected aspect of it is institutional failures. Because at the very heart of it, whatever family member, except they want to abuse the privilege or access they have to you, when they look for you, it's either they need healthcare, or they need food, shelter, or education. Now, when you look at all of these things, you find that there's nothing there but institutional failures. If our institutions were functioning as they're supposed to function, then it would hardly be an issue. Every once in a while, you may feel that need to give to your parents because of our collectivist culture as Africans, right? You could give to your parents, your siblings, your extended family, but then it doesn't become a recurring cost that happens over and over and over again until it builds resentment. It becomes a weight on you. So I believe at the very heart of black tax is actually institutional failure.
Indeed.
Wow. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that, because you're basically saying that we have a sustained, support, especially financial support for one's extended family because of institutional failure.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't it come as a natural thing, especially, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, and then we have that religious or spiritual, essence to fulfill, in the sense that we are instructed to take care of one's family, one's parent, especially those who give birth to you and, sponsor you through school and all of that.
Yes, absolutely. That moral obligation is also an aspect of it. We can't run away from that. I'm sure the two dominant religions in Nigeria, like you mentioned, I know in Christianity they say love thy neighbor, and that also would include your family, right?
Yes.
In Islam, it says the best amongst you is the one who is best to his families. So we want to give our families the ultimate best. But when you dissect the problem now, giving your family the best, it's relative, it's context specific. The best for you might be you want to sponsor your parents a trip abroad for them to have the most lavish trip, right? Now for me, who is from an underdeveloped nation, and I have to deal with third world problems, for me it just means putting food on their table. That is my best. And so how it ties down to institutional failure is, if these basic needs were taken care of, then every other thing that comes is me taking care of them is no longer tax, because tax becomes compulsory. It's recurring. But then when you are being good to them, when you're taking care of them, when it's a moral need, you feel it's your moral compass that is pointing you to taking care of them, then this comes from the goodness of your heart. And then you can afford enjoyable things for them. It's no longer about need. Now, if I'm here on a starter salary and my parents are calling me, or my sister or my cousin is calling me and saying, please, we want to go to Maldives for vacation. Do you understand where I'm getting at? But if they are where I'm sitting right now, it's school fees, then I feel that intense pressure to have to show up for them, regardless of what that pressure may be affecting me stress-wise. It may be causing resentment in me. It may put me in a very difficult position, but it doesn't change the fact that I'm bending over backwards to ensure that I'm going to meet that need, as opposed to when it's just a luxury demand.
Okay, now that brings me, let me quickly write on that, what you just said. That brings me to the next question. How are we able, because one of the things people are saying as far as back tax is concerned is the ability to build personal boundaries. How can we say to people we love that I cannot afford this at this moment, say it in such a way that they respect it and it does not generate bad feelings? How do we say it?
Thank you so much for that question. You know, one of the most prominent things in my practice that I have observed about people in general is we really have a problem with effective communication. So when we talk about boundaries, especially in this era with the new generation, it sounds like a very tough and wicked thing. I think it's important for all of us to learn that difficult conversations can be had in a very soft, empathic way.
Wow.
Is that, oh yes, I hear you, I understand your struggle, but I need you to understand that right now I am not in a position to.
So you said it so well, like, it's as if you just give me 1 million.
Yeah, manner of approach always very important. But you two are, both successful business women, and I am happy to actually recognize that. And I'm sure at some point in your lives, you have that financial goal that you want to attain. And I know that young ladies, young men are out there also having these goals to achieve. Now, does this support, especially financial support to one's extended family or family, if you like, black tax, have a way of affecting or, preventing us from achieving this financial goal?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think one of the biggest one of the biggest impact of black tax that we are witnessing all across Africa, even black communities, because even African Americans are talking about this, is that it has, I think it started from a very noble place. If you are familiar with the philosophy of Ubuntu from South Africa, it takes a village, right? I am because we are. So your success is my success. So you can see that it's a very noble beginning, because it means that when I am climbing up, all of you collectively will come together and push me up. And when I am up, I will always throw you a lifeline. So at the heart of it, we're seeing a sort of economic strategy where all of us are raised at the same time. But the modern times has made it almost impossible for that to happen. With inflation already, that's crazy, that's over the roof. People are hardly making enough to pay their own bills, let alone take financial risks. And for every economy to grow, the youth must be able to take financial risks. I need to be able to say, you know what, I'm starting this business. It may sound crazy to you, but I'm starting it. Our economy needs that. If not for even the economy, just for a person to gain that experience that, you know what, I experimented this, it didn't go this way. I've learned my lesson, I'm moving on to the next. But we hardly have disposable income. When you're too worried about your own bills. I was recently having a conversation with someone whose complaint about black tax was, it wasn't just that his family were taxing him, is that his brother would go and take loan and won't even tell him till is the end of the month. And they're like, okay, brother, I needed this. And the money was not, I know your own is salary end of the month, so I took loan from
So you are taking loan for somebody to repay.
Well,
Now, Margaret,
let me
quickly.
go to Margaret.
Okay.
Let me quickly go to Margaret. So I was going to say that her rare poshness, my beautiful rare poshness. So from what she said, is a level of, one thing that black tax has thrown up is the level of entitlement that people have. How do we deal with it? I know we've all dealt with it in our families. Tell us your experience, or tell us how we can deal with people who have this sense of entitlement.
Okay,
Yes.
so yes, I've had experiences, but I'll just talk about one. So when I was living in the UK, I had this, of course, your family back home, they think you're picking the money on the streets and all of that. It's so easy to get, the money and all of that. So there's always a lot of demands and all of that. But there was this particular cousin of mine that I picked out and really wanted to help, help him. So I sat him down and like, what exactly do you want to do? So he told me, how much do you need and all of that. So I gave him the money the first time. He never did it. The second time again, he said he wanted to do something else because that one's, gave excuses. In fact, I gave him on 3 occasions, money for him to set up. But he never, up till today. Up till today. So for me, like I said earlier, you can only do what you can do. You cannot force anyone. Yes, they come to you for help. You give them the help. It's their responsibility to go and do something with what you have given them. And if that is not happening, how do you expect me to keep giving to somebody who is not, making use of what, you don't even know where I'm getting the money from. I know of another one that I saw through university. Up to now, I don't even know where he is right now. Wow. So you have people like that you even help, and they don't even show that appreciation and all of that. But for me, that does not stop me from helping if I'm still in that position to help. So I don't know if I'm answering your question. Okay, so you do what you can. But for those people who actually, you are helping, I think it's their responsibility to make sure they are doing something with what you are giving them. So it encourages you to do more and to do more and to do more.
And to do more, indeed. And let me quickly put it out there. This is not a conversation about abandoning family. No. Rather, it's about balance, honesty, and sustainability. We're going to break. Don't go away. How much is too much, Rabia? How much is too much? Where do love, duty, and personal boundaries meet? Is there any intersection like that? Or can there be an intersection like that in your final words?
So I would say yes, moral obligation makes us all feel prone to becoming dutiful and giving. It should be that way. We've seen how our parents bent over backwards, had to sacrifice their dreams, their hopes, their ambitions just to put us through maybe school, education, ensure we have the best. And so the little you're earning now, even if it's not enough for you, you feel obligated to do so much for them. And then culturally, extended family are also involved, your siblings and all of that. But I think it's important for every individual to constantly reevaluate, when is it abuse? When is it necessary? When are people becoming entitled? And for that, we carry a lot of guilt when it comes to black tax and saying no. But when you do realize that this is now abuse, this is now entitlement, then it's very important for you to then say, enough is enough. I'm not doing this anymore. And then finally, I would say it's important to always budget for black tax. We always act like it's miscellaneous. Even I am guilty of this. I always act surprised, but I know it's coming. So it's important that we make budgets for black tax because we know it's already part of the culture. So I know this is my cap, this is my limit this month. The moment I exceed it, every other thing that comes, I say it has to be next month. I'm done this month.
Thank you, Rabia.
That's beautiful.
Margaret?
Okay, so my last thoughts, I think I just have two things to say. Yes, she said it so well. It's really, it's really important that we are really helping others to become, what they want to be or achieve their goals. But I also want to say that being a helper should not destroy you as the helper. That you are helping other people should not destroy you as the helper. And love should motivate help, not fear, not guilt, not pressure. I've said it before, you cannot give what you do not have. And also, the people we are even giving to, they should also learn to appreciate and also not have that sense of entitlement. I think they should appreciate whatever you are being given, make sure you're using it well, so that you also can be in that place where you can help others, so that the culture, the practice continues.
That's what the sustainability we're talking about is all about, because for you who is giving, you need to also plan. If you need to invest at a point and say, see guys, hold on, give me a little time for this investment to mature. That way you can help for the longest time. What do you think?
Thank you. It's been a pleasure having this conversation, and trust me, I wish it's something that we can continue, talking about, because from the messages you can tell that this
a whole lot is coming in that we
salient
cannot
topic
deal
that
with.
a lot of people are relating to. Now, let's cross over to where that music stand is, because somebody is in the mood to dance.
Who is that somebody? Sule.